Trekkers and Trekkies, welcome to the first of the DS9 Diorama playset build. First, I am changing the blade on my knife because I want to start off fresh. Make sure that you wrap your blade up in some tape or something so that it's not a danger when you throw it away. Little tip for you going forward. So, I am cutting the box. As you see, the first thing to do, I'm getting it measured, then cutting it on the separation line there. It's, I believe it was 9 or 10 inches deep on the one side and about 3 or 4 inches on the other side. Remember, this is just for fun. If you want to try and do something similar, then awesome, go for it. But you don't have to do it exactly like I do. It's just more of a recommendation. I don't know if you caught that. I started to cut off one piece of one of the flaps, and I remembered, wait, no, I need to use that because that's that part of the roof that I'm going to be slanting when I start working on the wardroom on the third floor. So here's the door for Quark's bar. I am cutting that out, and you see I'm not trying to shove it and push it. I'm doing multiple slices so that it doesn't do a whole bunch of fraying. And I do have a figure there I throw by the end of the door just to test it, make sure. Here's where I am cutting that part of the third floor so that I can start to tilt it back and make the angled window. Here's where I measured, and I'm glad I checked with a figure, and I realized that the circle that I made for that airlock door was way too small. So I checked something else. I found it was this jar I've got, and I was like, hey, this is a whole lot better. So used it, and that'll be my go forward measurement for the door. You'll see here in a few minutes I'm actually going to take, and on the door pieces that I cut out, I am going to write on there what they are so that when I get around to start making, especially the airlock door, I can make sure that it's a little bit bigger than that door that I cut out, because I want it to be able to hold in place and roll behind there. And there I am. I'm getting the floor that's going to be on that. That'll be, of course, the front side. And to hold that all together, I do a staple, do a little piece of duct tape. All of this will get covered up in the long run. I'm just using these pieces to create a temporary adhesive layer. This is where you really start getting more of a permanent layer where you're using Mod Podge and some other kind of cardboard, which you can see that I've taken a box. You can use old cereal boxes, saltine cracker boxes, whatever. It's that real thin, cheap cardboard. And I don't know if you caught, I did give it a little bit of a sand so that that glossy stuff will actually adhere to the glue better. And I'm about to do the same thing on the inside next to the wall, sort of create a bit of a bandage between the floor and the wall to hold that in place. I'm going to do the same thing to actually help adhere that to the floor more permanently. And you see I'm using these clamps to hold it on while the glue at least gets set. So yeah, just getting it all in place. Going to put the clamps back on to help that hold together. And you really only have to leave those for about 15-20 minutes to make sure that that holds real well. So now I am going to do a bandage here on the outside because there is still a seam under there. And like I said, eventually this is all going to be getting covered up by craft foam. That'll be my outside layer for the entire build. Sorry, I did a little bit of a jump there of me getting the clamps put on there to hold that on a little better. So this is all of that label that's on the outside of the box. It's this shiny sort of vinyl kind of stuff. So I sanded all of that just to make sure that as I'm going forward, anything will adhere to it. And this will what eventually becomes the roof of the front section. I'm doing the same thing. I put a couple of staples and doing a little piece of duct tape, and now we're gonna put the cardboard in there, the cereal box board, in order to start getting something a little firmer. Again, sanding it just to make sure that there's some tooth for the glue, the Mod Podge to stick to. And here I remember that I want to make a L piece like I did on the bottom section. I remembered, oh yeah, I need to do that before I do the floor, because that'll help it to hold together better and help that seam be a little better. So getting that put in, holding that in place, setting that off to the side while that all dries. So next, to start working on the floor of the rear section. Here I am. I'm doing the exact same thing, trimming off those pieces so that they line up. A couple of staples, duct tape. Then we're going to start making some cardboard glue patches to start holding stuff together. But here I am starting to work on getting the floors put in. This will be the divider between the first and second floor of Quark's bar. And then this is the divider between the first and second floor. And, sorry, the other one was where the, here, I'm just double checking my measurements, realizing that that one kind of went askew, so fixing that. And y'all probably seen my dogs back there walking around. So, and then finally, this is me cutting out that wall that I want angled. And I take and draw a piece so that I can cut that off. And what's funny is I wasn't trying to do this. I realized afterwards that if I glue it in the opposite way, that it creates the actual angled piece. See, at first I did that, but look, then I did this, and boom, it makes the perfect angle of the wall for me. So just stuck a couple of pieces of duct tape on there to hold that in place properly. Same thing on this side. And of course, again, all of this is going to be getting covered in craft foam later on. So doing the same thing on the inside, because it's got to be able to hold together for now. And eventually I will be getting the windows cut into that back wall. And now, because of those angled pieces, it makes it perfect for me to be able to measure where I want to cut those outside flaps for the wall. So sorry that the flap is kind of in the way of the camera. It's just me going over the line multiple times. Maybe, yeah, you can see it better this time. So that the knife slowly works its way through the cardboard without ripping the cardboard to shreds. Because I want to be able to have that internal structure help hold everything together. And again, duct tape is just kind of all temporary hold until we get the good stuff in place. And yeah, I kind of didn't get that put on real well, so I had to create a second piece and then a third to get things to hold together properly. That was on me. But yep, just cleaning up the edges. And here I am getting those pieces all taped together. So That's the big thing, is getting all of the seams to hold together, because I don't want them... Look, I'm just realizing it looks like my dogs are in the background playing a game of tag. That's not what was happening, but it looks great. So here is back to the front piece. This is going to be where the big windows on the promenade are. And I'm cutting this, and I took, and where that one piece you saw me make a slice, it was literally just enough to cut through the surface of the cardboard so that I could bend it back, which that'll become the bridge. And here he is. I just about did things backwards and caught myself. I want this piece to stick out over the windows. Man, I cut that fast. And that'll be the area where the big windows over the promenade on the second floor of the promenade are. And here I am figuring out where the little bridge that will extend across to Quark's is located. And I started to, I did take those off because I was like, I don't need all of that sticking out, and we're going to be sticking another piece. And again, okay, so what we have accomplished as far as so far on the front panel, well, mid panel, because there will be, so from here is where the windows will stick out, and then it'll come down. The Klingon cafe will be here, and then there'll be another airlock door sticking out here. But this will be the front panel, and this will be the back panel, which we've got the windows back here now angled where the windows will go. The wall is angled back for the wardroom. This will be the second level, and this will be the first level of Quark's. Of course, the door there, and you saw throughout the video, and I kept grabbing a figure and just testing how it would look at various points here. So that is sorry, my dog, she's been sick and she's in here. But that's gonna wrap it up for this one. I know it doesn't seem like much, but this is a pretty decent amount that has been accomplished. So, using a different camera than normal. I suppose that is gonna be it for this one. And I'll see you in the next Deep Space Nine from a box video. Alright. I'll see you next time. Go out and make something. If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell icon. If you want to support me, you can find me on Patreon, or go over to Zazzle for prints of my artwork, t-shirts, and other cool stuff. If you're still here, why? Do you want to jam out?